Media.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode, I believe it's 45 of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. And as usual, me, Ricky Chabruggi, hosting with Derek Relaford. How you doing tonight, Derek?
Doing pretty good. These headphones, the audio is really boomy.
Is it?
I like it. Yeah, like the intro music comes in, it's like ba da 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 da.
Right, right. Who's the little kid that does the back home media?
It's my son. He's a little.
That's cool.
Little chubby kid, man. He likes every time he hears any of, because all the podcasts that I produce, it says that at the beginning, and he's a really big fan of that.
That's cool. All right.
Well, so we got a pretty long show ahead of us tonight.
We do.
If we could get everybody to share this out for us, that would be great.
By last count, we've got 18 cases to go through tonight.
18 cases for sure.
Yeah.
As always, please shout out in the comments where you are watching from. We love to see, where everybody's at. We got Dottie hanging out tonight. Yeah,
she's back. Hello, Dottie.
Love that. Love that. Everybody could share the show. That would be great. We've got a lot of cases to cover. And we really do appreciate everybody that does watch every week and share the show, all that, and share the flyers, especially. Like Ricky has tons of reach with these flyers that he makes, and it's thanks to all of you that really put those out there.
Yeah. Hello from Wichita. Hello from Pratt. Alicia, and Diana from Pratt. So hello Wichita. Hello Pratt. How you guys doing? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I just got hooked up with these headphones and microphone. I think I'm gonna like it a lot better than having the microphone hanging right in front of me.
I like it because I can do this, Ricky. Look, you can still hear me perfectly.
Yeah.
Watch this. I'll go over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it that I can just I want me to lay on the bed and do the show. Is that weird?
Yeah. Hey Jerry and Topeka and Diana Tetro, how you doing? Sharian Rubar, hey guys, how you doing? Hey Nikki from Hutch, how you doing? And Mary, I'm so sad in Salina this week. That's one of the ones we're going to be talking about here in a little while.
Well, since that one's not like a typical, missing person case like we usually cover, I say we cover that one now.
Okay.
Since we kind of got Mary, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, that's new murder in Salina. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and bring up this flyer now. This is obviously some very sad news out of Salina, Kansas.
Hey Molly from Topeka, how are you doing tonight?
Hey Molly.
Me.
So Ricky, tell us what's going on in Salina, Kansas. It says here this was 2 days ago, the 23rd.
Yeah.
Or was it?
Around 11:42 in the morning, Tuesday the 23rd, Salina Fire Department EMS and Salina police officers, they were dispatched to the 700 block of North 4th Street here in Salina for a report of the sound of gunfire and someone screaming. Upon arrival, Salina police officers located Courtney Ann Hoffman, 36, of Salina, inside a vehicle at 731 North 4th Street in Salina. Courtney had a gunshot wound and was pronounced deceased by the Salina Fire Department EMS personnel. Her next of kin was notified. Case is being considered a homicide. Detectives are attempting to identify a suspect or suspects. In addition, Salina police detectives are working to identify and locate persons who were in the area at the time of the shooting. If anybody has any information concerning Courtney's death, please call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 or text SA TIPS to crimes 274637. Or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a web tip. Typically, you would be eligible for a cash reward of up to $1,000, but they have changed it. It's now bumped up to $2,500.
Wow.
And you're not required to give your name. You can also contact Detective Jeff Vaughn at the Salina Police Department at 785-826-7210.
Hey, Bonnie. Yeah, and if anybody's watching this and you know what happened, listen, we cover these kinds of cases all the time. look, it's not going to take long before that says February 23rd, 2021. One of these days, it's going to be 2051, and this could very well be unsolved. It's up to you right now. Now's the time to do it. We talk to people all the time that are like, I knew something. I should have said something back then. Do it. Say something now. Be anonymous. Right. Get your $2,500. Invest that in something that's going to make your life go forward. You know, like, seriously, if you know anything about what happened to Courtney Ann Hoffman, say something. Like say something. It could be anonymous. You could do it anonymously. Call from like somebody else's phone. Do whatever you got to do. But if you know anything about this, do not sit on this for 30 years, because I know people that have sat on information for 30 years. And let me tell you what, it never gets any easier. You're never going to forget about it, and it's never going to go away. Just go ahead and tell somebody.
Right. And definitely, like Derek was saying, you can call the Crime Stoppers number, the 785-825-8477. They keep everything anonymously. They don't take any names or anything like that. So they assign a number to your tip, and that's how they contact you, is via that number that they assign you. But they don't ever take names. So, call the Crime Stoppers line and let them know what you know.
Yeah, and seriously, and exactly just like Sharian says, there's say something. Remember all the infamous cases that are unsolved to this day. Exactly, and in every single one of those cases, people have sat on information for decades. And if you ever find somebody that's been in that situation, it doesn't feel good. Those people, it's harboring a secret that you just saying something could relieve so many people from so much pain.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and do it. Why would you protect? And one other thing, Ricky, I know about is a lot of times when somebody gets like killed, there's people feel bad for the person that did it. Like, well, it was just like they made a mistake. It was a crime of passion. Right. They made a mistake. I don't want to tell on them and ruin their lives because they made a mistake. But guess what? They made the mistake and they ruined their lives the day they took this life. Yeah. Okay, like that's the end of it. Like, if you're sitting there, you're more worried about somebody who decided it was the best idea to shoot this person and kill them. That's what they thought at that time was the best option in their life. If you're worried about their feelings, then you really need to rethink your value system, because that girl right there is somebody's friend, somebody's daughter, somebody's lover, and they're gone because somebody made a decision to take that life. And I'm sorry, I just don't feel bad for people who choose to commit murder. I'm not like, oh, well, poor them. Their life's going to be messed up. They're going to go to jail. I'm sorry. I don't have any remorse for that. I'm just like, you know what? If you know something that happened to this girl, you need to say something, because I'm telling you, this happens all the time. People get murdered and 30 years go by and nobody says anything, and the person that did it just gets away with it. And I'm tired of it. So if you know something about this, just say something.
Definitely. Yeah, Beverly, how you doing tonight, Beverly? Yeah, we will be covering John's case tonight as well. But yeah, somebody does need to say something. I agree with you. I've often said where an unsolved homicide's concerned, I mean, somebody kills somebody, so you've obviously just tore that family up by taking that family member away from that family. But the person responsible is also destroying their own family, because once they get caught, they're going to go to prison or possibly even be sentenced to death, depending on the state or whatever. But they've tore their family up because they're being taken away from their family and being locked away for the rest of their life. So, yeah. I mean, you're affecting more than just the victim's family. You're affecting your own family. Yeah. So, I mean, there's people hurt all the way around. So, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal.
Prayers and good feelings and thoughts towards her family. And do we know if she had any kids or anything? Or
yeah, she did. Yeah.
People got to start using their heads, Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
How is that a good idea to just take somebody's life, man?
Right.
You wasted their life and you wasted your life. If you never go to jail, you're still going to feel like crap the rest of your life. You've wasted your life.
Yeah, and I was at work when this all was going down. I kept up with it on my breaks and stuff, as best I could. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Pretty much at the middle of the day, 11:42 in the morning. I mean, surely somebody saw something. or got something on their if there's any homes with security systems on them. Hopefully somebody got something down that too that they can use also. So if you have security systems in your homes and you live in that area, go through your security footage and see what you got, and see if you got anything that's going to be of use to the investigators. Turn it over to them, let them have it, and see what they can use, get from it.
Yeah, I'm beyond tired of people doing terrible stuff, and then people know about it and they're just scared and they don't say anything. It's like, what are you scared of? They're gonna arrest them. They're gonna put them in jail. You can do it anonymously. Like,
yeah, Brittany Drexel's case is a sad case. Yeah, there's a lot of rumor and a lot of hearsay and stuff like that, and don't know what's true, what's not, but it all ends with a bad ending,
Yeah.
So, yeah, she snuck off to spring break with some friends from New York down to, I can't remember if it was North Carolina or South Carolina, but it looked like she may have been abducted and raped and murdered and fed to the alligators. This is the latest going rumor on hers. There's nothing to back that or prove that as far as I know, but that was the last version of events that was going around supposedly. But They've never been able to find. They've done searches looking for her, and they've never found any remains or anything. And it's hard to say, but hopefully. You're sure welcome, Krista. Thank you for joining us tonight.
By the way, if you have any cases you want us to cover, go ahead and put those out in the comment section. We'd love to do things on the fly. Like, as you know, we love to pull things out from the archives, and definitely put it out there.
Yeah. I agree, Shireen. I agree. It'll help them get that evidence before it's destroyed. I definitely agree with that. Thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that.
Ricky, why don't you tell us about Adriana? We'll go ahead and get started on this caseload.
Sure. Adriana Pack is missing from Wichita, Kansas. She is 17 years old. She is 5'2" tall, weighs between 130 and 145 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She's been missing since February 21st, so just a few days now. If you have any information regarding Adriana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Adriana, if you're out there listening, let somebody know where you are and that you're safe and where they can come get you and get you back where you need to be.
Man, we got a lot of young people on the list tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Too many.
Yeah.
Too many.
All right, tell us about Alicia Jane Reed.
Okay. Let's see. She is an unsolved homicide victim. Her remains were found in rural Clay County, Missouri on February 11, 2021. They were discovered near Cameron Road and Easley Road, north of 210 Highway. According to Sheriff's Office, she was reported missing the same day her remains were found. She was last seen on February 9th at the Fave Trip of South 23rd Street in Independence, Missouri. And Sheriff's Office said it does not appear that the homicide happened very recently when they found her. Officials did not provide further information. The investigation into her death is ongoing. If you have any information regarding Alicia's death, please call the Clay County, Missouri Sheriff's Office Investigations Unit at 816-407-3723 or the TIPS hotline at 816-474-8477. Let's see if we can't help generate some information or leads on that situation.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. It's not good.
Yeah. I saw a news report where they were talking to her mom and her sister, and they are just beyond devastated. My heart really goes out to them.
Wow, man. If anybody's seen her, heard anything, heard any whispers, say something.
Yeah. If you know something, say something, definitely. Definitely. There's just too much of that stuff going on.
Yeah. I don't like it at all, man. Tell us about Alexander real quick.
Mr. Spence. He's actually somebody we've heard before. but he was found and now he's missing again. Alexander Alex Jacob Spence. He's been missing since January 24th, 2021. He's 16 years old, 6 foot tall, 180 pounds. He has black hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Alex, again, let somebody know where you're at and know where they can come get you and get you back to a safe place. It's being out on the streets by yourself is not the way to do it.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not the way to be doing it.
A sign of the times when we start having flyers with masks in them.
Yeah. And I'm double checking on our next case just to see if there's any kind of updates. And I'm not seeing any as of yet. So looks like still active on that one. But yeah, Alex, if you see this, let somebody know where you are and where they can find you, and so they can get you back to where you need to be. You're 16. It's time to start, standing firm and start dealing with what's ahead of you and stop running from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate seeing that.
She's from my hometown. I'm assuming referring to Alicia on that one. I'm sorry to hear that. And Shannon, thank you for your efforts to put these poor souls out there so no one forgets. You're very welcome, Shannon. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're definitely here to do.
Yeah. Okay, let us know about Chad Rogers.
Okay. And Mr. Rogers is missing from Amsterdam, Missouri. He's been missing since February 9th, 2021. He's 41 years old, 5 foot 10 inches tall. He weighs 350 pounds. I wasn't able to get a hair color or an eye color, but it looks like probably dark brown, I would say, for hair color. He also has a full beard. He was last known to be wearing a black and white hat, safety vest jacket that is similar to the ones pictured, gray Nike joggers with slip-on tennis shoes. During that time that he went missing, it was during the really bitter cold that we were having, and the sheriff's office was concerned for his welfare. He was dropped off on foot in the area of north of McBee's on Tuesday around 11 a.m. en route to a friend's house in the area. And if you have any information regarding Chad's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Bates County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 660-679-3232. Let's see if we can help get him located and back to a safe place.
I'm sitting here thinking, we do these shows and every week you bring on new cases. And you just said, he went missing during the storm. Dude, that's so scary.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't think about stuff like that. I'm just sitting there, watching Facebook and seeing all my buddies back home talking about the blizzard conditions and the ice and the snow. And, Chad's lost in it. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know much about, did he have any financial issues coming up or any kind of?
Nothing was ever mentioned about any of that kind of information.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I get why they wouldn't need to release that information to strangers, but I don't know. I'm just curious. I just don't think people just don't vanish. There has to be some kind of.
Yeah. Thank you, Shriner. We greatly appreciate that.
And by the way, we are on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spreaker. We're pretty much everywhere as far as the podcast realm goes, and we do appreciate everybody that tunes in.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Let's go to Dalen. We're gonna skip, but we did Courtney already.
Yeah,
we're gonna skip over Dana also, just in case we can figure out. We do have Kelsey trying to get on tonight to help us cover Dana's case. If she can't make it, we'll probably still put off Dana's case until she can be here. But tell us about Dalen.
Okay, we'll do that. I'm actually talking to Kelsey real quick. She said she's trying to make it back. But on to Dalen here. Where are you at, Mr. Dalen? There you are. Dalen Broderick's missing from Neodesha, Kansas. He's been missing since February 18th, 2021. He's 17 years old. He is 5'8" to 5'10" tall, and he weighs between 180 to 200 pounds. Has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in the 1300 block of North 3rd in Neodesha. If you have any information regarding Dalen's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Neodesha, Kansas Police Department at 620-325-3031 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Dalen, you're another one. You know, I know you're 17. You're closing in on 18, and just let somebody know where you're at, and so then get you back to where you need to be, so you can start taking care of business. It's time to start taking care of it.
Yeah, man. 17. I'm gonna be honest, man. You got a better mustache than I do, buddy. I mean, it is time to like Ricky's saying, man.
Yeah.
Put your boots on, do your job, pick something you want to walk towards in life. It's always good to have a goal. It's always good to have something you want to be. Even if that something's 10, 15 years away from you, still wake up, you get up every day, and you make one step leap, one step towards your goals, and you stay out of trouble, man. And Ricky's right, man. Running off, at the age of 17, it's not a great way to start your story, man. Not at all. You're almost 18. You can almost do what you want to do. You look like a bright kid, man. Let's just let's go home. Let's get this settled up here in a few months. When you're 18, get your own place, do things your way. But right now, man, people are worried about you. You can't just take off. You're going to end up on this show if you just take off, basically.
Definitely, yeah. That's for sure. We got a lot of young kids on the show tonight. It's kind of heartbreaking, really.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. And it usually happens like that. We have like a couple youngsters on the show, and it usually like the whole show ends up being that way. And it's just really cold, and it's not a good time to be like, lost right now. Especially if you're lost on your own volition. Obviously, if you're in a situation where, somebody made you be lost, then that's a different story. But I mean, if some people that are, missing on their own volition, it's just not a great time of year to do that. We have several pictures on this one, and it kind of covers up the info, but I thought the pictures were more important than the info. Since we really don't show the info on screen anyway. But tell us about Haley Bardo.
All right. Well, Haley is missing from Wichita, Kansas. She's been missing since February 16th of this year. She's 18 years old. She is 5'5" tall. She weighs 150 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. It is believed that she is in the Topeka, Kansas area. She is known to dye her hair. Her natural hair color is brown, but as you can see from the pictures, I mean, kind of an auburn color. You got a blonde shot, and she does change her hair color up. She does have a hoop piercing on the right side of her nose and a piercing above her left eye. And if you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-268-4111 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get Haley located and back to a safe place. And Haley, if you're out there listening, reach out to somebody and let them know you're all right and, that you're ready to come home.
Yeah.
It's just a sad deal. There's too many young people.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Everybody knows it's tough being a kid, man.
It is.
Under normal circumstances, say that you hit the lottery and you have a stable family, stable income, stable everything, you're still going to run into issues. So imagine coming from a family that's not your typical family, that has issues, that has some type of drama, that has some kind of trauma, any type of variation to life. Life's already difficult for kids. So I've never questioned these kids' decisions to run away, because obviously running away is a part of like fight or flight, is a part of your instinct. An animal will run away from a bad situation sometimes. But sometimes, when you're younger, you might not recognize that. You might think a situation is a bad situation, and really it's not a fun situation. Sometimes, you're going to have rules, and sometimes you're going to have to do certain things until you are out on your own and paying your own way. So a lot of times, that, again, we don't know why people decide to run off. And again, that is up to them. That is their thing. That is their choice. We're just here to tell you that it's not a good choice. Running off without anybody knowing where you are, especially you're a young girl, not a great idea. There's a lot of people out there that would see like a benefit of abusing you and putting you in bad situations, and you gotta, you're out there on your own. You're kind of a kid still, like you don't need that. You need to have adults around you that you can trust, adults around you that you can respect, that can sort of, teach you and walk you through life, to sort of show you how to walk through and avoid terrible things in life that could occur. And when you're just a young kid out there on your own, you got to be careful. It's it sounds good on paper. I'm going to run away and I don't have to live by any rules anymore. But I mean, there's a lot to just having an apartment, for 6 months. That is a tremendous amount of responsibility, like, and you have to have support from, if you don't have family, you have to have support from loved ones, and if you don't have loved ones, sometimes you have to have support from your community. Like, being on your own is not easy. So it's not a great idea to do it just willy-nilly, just running off by yourself.
Right. Yeah, and I'm going to chime in on what you were talking about. Being a teenager is tough. I mean, from my own personal experiences, I started. I was bullied from like 5th, 6th grade all the way up through high school, and by the time I got to high school, it got to be pretty unbearable. And then my dad died between my freshman and sophomore years of high school, and that, coupled with the bullying, it just got to be an overload. And by my senior year, I just was basically wasting my time being in school, because I really wasn't doing anything. I didn't care anymore. And so my senior year, I ended up dropping out and going to alternative school and getting my GED and moving on with my life. It was a deal I made with my mom at the time, was like, if you let me drop out, I'll get my GED, I'll move on. I've just got to get out of there, because people are just unbearable. They were tricking me into getting fights with the bullies and everything else. It was just crazy.
Email me their names right now, Ricky. I got some guys, man. No, I get it, man. People, and that's the truth, man. It's tough being a kid. Like, you're a guy who wears glasses and you like comic books.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna get picked on, Ricky. Guess what? That's like, that's, and I think you knew that going into it. But honestly, I dropped out of high school when I was 17, Ricky, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't because of bullying. It was because I couldn't, with my mental illness that I didn't know I had, with my obsessive compulsive disorder. I couldn't stop thinking about all, like, you know how a ninja, they say, always has like 10 items in the room they can kill you with. Well, I was like kind of like a ninja, because usually when I'm out in the public and stuff, I see like 10 potential things that could go wrong, and it makes me terrified, and I sit there and think about them while the teacher's trying to teach me math, and therefore I wasn't absorbing any math. So I mean, on paper, man, if you look up my GPA, if you look up my school records, dude, I look like somebody who needs to be in services. Like, honestly, I had very terrible grades. I was a very terrible student, and I had the same talk with my dad. It was my dad. Your dad had passed. You talked to your mom, but I had the same talk with my dad, saying, look, like, I don't want to go to high school anymore. It's not for me. And even, I do a show here on Back Home Media with Norm. He's my old English teacher. And he was like, even one of the ones back then, he was just like, school's not for everybody, so we get it. Like, being a teenager, again, under normal circumstances with no problems, which that doesn't happen ever. But say there's some kid out there that has it all. They still have issues. They still have feelings of not feeling good enough. They still, being a kid is tough. So we never want, if you're out here watching the show and you're one of the cases we cover, we're never saying that you're foolish for running. We're never saying any of that stuff. We're just saying it's not a good idea.
No. And, even through all the crap I was going through, I never even entertained the idea of running away. I mean,
Well, and a lot of that is you had a good support at home. It was tough for you outside. But I mean, if you look back, man, if in all honesty, man, I do believe in people. I think that the majority of those people that treated you poorly that long ago, if they happen to come across this show and see you on here, they'd probably feel bad about it. And they say most people, when somebody says something mean about you and you go tell an adult, they're like, well, they just don't like themselves. It's usually the truth. Like usually when people are picking on somebody, they're mad at themselves. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think you're a testament that you don't have to run away.
right.
You're a very well, established adult. You are you do everything on your own, and you didn't have to run away, man. You just dug deep into yourself and believed in yourself, basically.
Yeah, and I definitely learned what it meant when they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, because it did. Ways that I didn't understand until later on, but it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharian says nerds for life.
Definitely.
Thanks for sharing. I lost my dad as a young, and I'm autistic. I was diagnosed until 20 years old and hit it until last year. That's awesome, man.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, Sharon, I have a son. We haven't had him tested. We don't know if he's autistic, but he has certain traits that he does. Like he can't sit still. Like when he gets excited, he's 6 years old and he gets up and he runs back and forth through our whole house, and he like jumps up and down and he makes noises. And he's done it but like he's a normal guy, great kid. He's great at gaming. But when he gets excited, he'll just be running around making noises. And like, some people are like, I think your kid has autism. But I mean, honestly, man, Sharon right here, like, autism's like, that's nothing anymore, man. Like, how many people I've met that are on the spectrum that were usually teaching me something, like I was learning something from somebody like about like audio or video world. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm on the spectrum. I'm just like, so yeah, like, it's basically just like, all of us have tics and stuff, and it's not easy for any of us to be here. But yeah, definitely running away is not a good idea. You need to have some kind of support system. Tell us about Yvette. It looks like you had uploaded one flyer this week, and then you uploaded another one.
Yeah, I added another photo to that.
Okay.
And I do want to apologize for getting a little bit of a little emotional about that. You can see the scars still run pretty deep about the whole thing, but I'm in a better place with it now than I was, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But it was just hard to deal with, and I'm just glad it's behind me.
Man.
But anyway, moving on to Yvette Celeste Bautista Lira. She's missing from Kansas City, Kansas. She's been missing since January 30th, 2021. Another 17-year-old. She's 5'7". She weighs 148 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. She was last seen on January 30th and was last heard from about February 4th from Dulzura, California area. She was driving her tan 2007 Dodge Nitro with Kansas license plate 2169CP or 674NNT. She has both license plates with her. One of them's registered to another vehicle. Again, she's 17 years old. She's 5'7" tall, weighs 148 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black hoodie, jeans with a ripped design in the legs, and checkered Vans shoes. If you have any information regarding Yvette's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Yvette, if by chance you're out there in California and you see this, it's time to come back home.
Yeah.
It's time to come back home. I was her mom sent me or I sent her mom told me to send a friend request to Yvette's Facebook because they are actually actively using it. And in looking at her Facebook, she's competed in a lot of pageants, it looks like, a lot of beauty pageants. So
is this one of those situations where as far as Yvette's concerned, she doesn't feel she's in danger? She's just sort of decided to emancipate, essentially, just go start living her life as of right now and just not worrying about what her mom thinks? Or
that's kind of what it sounds like to me, is that she's just wanting to be on her own and do her own thing.
And she's 17, and obviously that's not, like we said, it's never really a great idea to, by the way, that's awesome, man. I knew it. I'm telling you, every time somebody tells me they're on the spectrum, it's because they're teaching me something that I would never understand on my own.
Right.
Oh, we got this. So yeah, I bet. Yeah. Just be careful. At least try to get some dialogue going with your mother. She's very worried. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Irene Perez. Thank you for sharing about AJ Perez from Ulysses. I'm his biological mother and wish someone would say something about him. Please, I want him back home, please. Yes, we've covered him a couple of shows now. And we're hoping we can, that'll do some good and help get him found. Yeah, there he is right there. Yep, yeah. I'm hoping we can help get him found.
You know what, Irene? You seem like a great lady. I'm gonna leave Alexander's picture in our studio. That's I'm from Elkhart, Irene. I grew up and born and raised in Elkhart, Kansas, so Ulysses is really close to me.
Yeah.
And I will be honest, AJ must be a great guy because we have had no less than 15 people come in here and ask us to share this flyer.
Yes.
So this guy's got a lot of people that care about him.
Yeah. So again, if anybody out there knows anything, speak up, say something. Now's the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time.
We felt like we've covered this one before, and I don't really. We haven't, but the name looks familiar. To me, the name looks familiar. But to Ricky, the face looks familiar. But anyway, seems like a new case. But yeah, go ahead, Ricky. Tell us about Jeffrey.
Yeah, we'll do that. And Irene, you are very welcome, and I'm sure you do miss him. And hopefully we can help get him brought home. And Mr. Jeffrey Devore, I saw his picture, and it looked familiar to me. But he's missing from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Been missing since February 19th. Again, 17 years old. He is 5'6" to 6 foot tall. He weighs between 145 to 150 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in the 800 block of West 6th in Pittsburgh. If you have any information regarding Jeffrey's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Pittsburgh, Kansas Police Department at 620-231-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Jeffrey, if you're out there listening or you by chance see this, buddy, it's time to go back home and take care of business. Let somebody know where you are so they can come get you or just go back home.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this one we had some comments about earlier. This one, I'm interested to know about this one. This one's pretty alarming. We got a 13-year-old out there.
Yeah, John Lopez, missing from Topeka, Kansas, went missing yesterday, February 24th. He's 13 years old. He is 5'1" to 5'2". He weighs 110 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in southwest Topeka on his bike, which is described as black and orange, and it has bald tires. He was last known to be wearing a black and white camouflage hoodie and black sweatpants. If you have any information regarding John's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And let's see if we can help get John located and back home. I mean, 13, that's young.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary. Yeah, I agree, Kelly. Bring Megan Fogelsong home. Yeah, it's long overdue. Sad part about that is like the only person that really knows where she's at is dead himself now. So, but hopefully something will open up and we'll know something soon. Hopefully,
we're gonna have Ashley on soon to tell us more about that.
Yeah, praying for Johnny, such a sweet family. Yeah, we need to keep all these missing in our prayers, Johnny's and everybody's. Any update on Cherish Mason? Not that I am aware of. I will have to do some digging on that and see what we can find out on her. Let's see here. I'm going to take a peek on KBI's website and see if she's still listed there. She is still listed since February 23rd. So just a couple of days ago. So hopefully, I wonder if I have a recent flyer for her. So I know we've covered her in the past, because I know the name. And here is her flyer. Let's see. And interesting. That's one of the older ones. What about this one? Looks like I need to update her flyer, apparently. Possibly. Because the ones that I have in my files are from November and December. So it looks like I'm going to have to update hers February 23rd and repost that. And I will get that done after the show. So I do apologize for not knowing about that sooner. Missing from Wichita again. So, yeah, just real briefly. She's 15. She's been missing since February 23rd. She's 5'5", weighs 120 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She is an African-American female, since I don't have the flyer handy to show. If you have any information or you know where she's at, you can call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get her found, but I will get her flyer updated and reposted as soon as we get done with the show this evening.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, yeah, definitely send stuff to Ricky's page and shirt.
And if there's any recent pictures of her that anybody may have, the pictures that I have are pretty dated. I mean, the most recent one that I have, she's wearing a mask. Or it's down under her chin, but I mean, she's...
Yeah, but still, we're seeing a lot of these masks in these pictures, man.
Yeah.
Sign of the times.
Yep.
So we're going to get that worked on for next week's show. Ricky's going to get a flyer up this week.
Yep.
Ricky, tell us about Justin Whitson Jr.
Okay. And this is one of two that's missing from Parsons. And... trying to locate him. There he is. Justin Whitson Jr. He is missing from Parsons, Kansas. Went missing on February 17, 2021. 16 years old. He is 5'7" to 5'10" tall. He weighs between 150 to 175 pounds. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen in the 1900 block of Crawford and Parsons. It is believed that Justin is with Robert Jones Jr., who is also considered a missing and endangered runaway, and we'll be covering his case momentarily. If you have any information regarding Justin's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Parsons, Kansas Police Department at 620-421-7060 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Justin, if you or Robert are hearing this, let somebody know where you guys are so they can come get you and get you back where you need to be, so you can start getting things taken care of. It's just, just time. It's time.
2 out of Parsons. Yeah, we're going to cover the other one here in just a minute. Okay. If anybody's heard anything, for sure.
Yeah.
So we had covered this case recently, but you said that Katherine Adams. Go ahead and read her flyer first, and then sort of catch us up on why you reshared that this week.
Well, I reshared her flyer. Of course, she's missing from here in Salina, Kansas. She's been missing since April 29th of 93. She was 35 when she went missing. She'd now be 63. She's 5'4", 120 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She was last seen at 4:30 in the morning on April 29th at the Quick Shop convenience store in the 1700 block of West Crawford in Salina. She drove a white full-size Ford van with "She Has Legs" written on the sides in blue lettering. Her van turned up abandoned at 5:45 p.m. the day after her disappearance at Russell's Restaurant in the 600 block of West Point Boulevard. Russell's was closed at the time for remodeling. The van was spattered with mud on the outside, and it did have a large amount of blood on the inside. A large amount of blood was also found at a storage unit in West Salina, where Katherine, a saleswoman for Legs Pantyhose, picked up her stock every morning. There was no sign of her at either place, and she's never been heard from again. Police speculate someone attacked her when she went inside the storage unit, and it appeared that they interrupted her in the process of loading the merchandise in her van, leaving the door of the unit open. At the time she went missing, she was separated from her husband, and she had a teenage daughter. Case remains unsolved and foul play is suspected. And the reason I reshared her flyer was a podcast channel on YouTube called Trace Evidence Podcast. Just did a brand new podcast on her, and on her recent reshare, I included the links to the podcast. And I learned a little bit more that I actually hadn't heard. And the information I learned was that they had found bullet fragments on the ground at the storage unit where she was taken from. So apparently she had been shot, and there was evidence that they did try to clean up around the storage unit. So, I mean, not real sure why somebody would do that out there, but and at the time it was called Triplet Storage. It's called, I think it's called Citywide Self Storage now, but it was called Triplet back then. But yeah, I reshared it so people could check out that podcast, because he did a really, really awesome job on it. The guy that hosts, his name is Stephen Pacheco, and he did a really, really good job on that podcast. I was really impressed with that. You know, the information that he had. He talked about her home life and her home life when she was growing up at home, that she had been in a foster home herself at some point, and because she'd gotten in some trouble and things like that. And after she had disappeared, her and her estranged husband's daughter, they were deciding whether or not she was going to go into foster care, and they asked her father if he wanted her, and he basically said no, that he couldn't take care of her, and so she herself was placed in foster care, and she's an adult now herself, and I'm sure she would like answers to what happened, you know, to her mom. And you know, and I encourage anybody that has any information regarding her case to call the Salina Police Department at 785-826-7210, or KBI at their at 785-296-4017, or their 1-800 Kansas crime number. And I'm going to also share another number again, the Crime Stoppers number for here in town. And that number is 785-825-8477. And I encourage you, if you want to stay anonymous, to use that number so they can keep you anonymous, or you can go to the www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link there to submit a tip there as well, and see if we can't get this solved. It's this year will be 28 years that she's been missing, and on April 29th will be the 28th year. And you know, it's just time to put this case, you know, it's time to solve it and put it in the solved file and bring her home so she can be laid to rest properly. I know they did reclassify her case actually from a missing persons to a homicide case, because they believe with the amount of blood that they found between the storage shed and in her van that her injuries were possibly more than likely fatal. So it's just time to get her found and laid to rest where she
I think it's crazy they didn't say that when they first got there.
Yeah,
like, you find the van, there's blood everywhere. You're like, okay, that's a bad sign. You get to the storage shed, there's blood everywhere. You're like, okay, she's obviously been murdered.
Yeah, blood and bullet fragments on the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
there were no shell casings, just bullet fragments, which says that he at least scooped up the shell casings but left the fragments.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's like, of course it's a foul play. Of course there's homicide. I mean, it doesn't take a detective to realize that, you know, any person that would have happened upon both scenes would have been like, somebody died here. Yeah. You know, especially if the amount of blood they saw in that van and the amount of blood they saw in that storage unit, and there was nobody that had checked into the hospital, you know, whoever lost that blood died. If nobody had checked into a hospital within 100 miles. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and periodically, you know, when I give my brother a ride to work or take him home from work, I go past that storage facility. Really?
And I often wonder, what happened to her? Where are we ever going to know?
Yeah.
Being that it's been 28 years, it's hard to say.
I'll have to listen to that podcast, man. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, and Kelsey that was going to join us to cover Dana's case. She's got a Facebook page up for Katherine Adam called Find Katherine Adam on Facebook. That she's doing a lot of good things with that Facebook page. So if everybody wants to check that out, feel free to check that one out. She's got one going for Dana Hupfer. She's got a couple others she's working on. She's working on one for the unidentified in Kansas that's been found. And things like that. So I mean, she's doing a lot of good things. So check out her pages and give her some support too.
She'll be on here soon. We're trying to get her internet situation figured out.
Yeah. She's trying. She was worried she was going to start having issues. So,
tell us about Quincy.
Okay, Quincy Gepford. He's another one missing from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was pretty active this last week. Yeah. Been missing since February 15th, 2021. He's 15 years old. He is 5'6" to 5'9" tall. He weighs between 125 to 150 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in the 500 block of West 6th Street in Pittsburgh. If you have any information regarding Quincy's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Pittsburgh, Kansas Police Department at 620-231-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Quincy, if you're hearing this or you see this, it's time to let somebody know where you're at so they can come get you or just go back home so you can start getting things taken care of and squared away.
Yeah.
You're 15, you still got some years left in your teen years before you're an adult and the fun really begins.
Right. Yeah.
I remember being his age thinking, I can't wait to be an adult. And then after I got to be an adult and I was like, why was I in such a hurry? Why was I in such a hurry to get here? But, it's all right. It worked. And Ashley, hey Ashley, how you doing? Kelly, we are working on it. Responding to Kelly's comment about bring Megan Fogelsong.
Yeah, and if you want to know anything, Kelly, that's who you ask because Ashley knows the most about that case than anybody that I know.
Yeah, definitely check with Ashley over there at Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice, and she'll update you. And like I said, we're going to get her on here pretty soon so she can kind of give us the latest on what's going on.
What's going on with that is basically we record on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she has prior engagements on every Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So we're just trying to figure out a time that we can get her on and get this accomplished and everything because we want to get an update. She has some new information about the Megan Fogelsong saga, so we're going to try to get her on hopefully in the next week or two to tell us more about that. But if you have any questions about that case specifically, hit up Ashley Duft over there at Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice.
Yeah, and then Colleen Greenmeyer is asking, do you talk about AT? What do you mean ATT cases? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, kind of help us with that a little bit, Colleen. And
give us some more information, and I'll look it up while Ricky's talking. Ricky, while I'm looking that up, why don't you tell us about Richard Beam a little bit?
All right, we've covered him in the past, but we were asked to share his information, and I'm trying to locate him. Where is it? Give me just a minute, and I'll have it. Technical difficulties, boy, I'm telling you. The joys of doing a live show.
Live radio, folks.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta tell you what, though, Ricky, that new microphone you're using, man,
I love it.
I think you got a future in voice. I didn't know you had such a bassy voice, buddy.
All right. Yeah, I didn't either. Richard Beam. He's missing from El Dorado. Been missing since January 13th, 2021. He's 15 years old. He is between 5'4" and 5'7" tall. He weighs 125 to 135 pounds. Has brown hair and brown eyes. It's believed that he may still be in the local El Dorado area, or he may be in the Burns or Wichita, Kansas areas. If you have any information regarding Richard's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the El Dorado Police Department at 316-321-9120 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Richard, let somebody know where you're at so they know you're all right and where they can find you at, get you back to where you need to be.
Yeah, man. 15. Wow.
Yeah. 15's a rough age, man. As I was talking about earlier, my dad passed away. Actually, it wasn't even a full 3 months after my 15th birthday when he passed away. So, 15's rough.
Yeah, man. Colleen, yes, we do cover all cases. We predominantly cover Kansas cases because that's where Ricky runs his page from. But every week you'll generally see a case from another part of the country somewhere.
Yeah.
We haven't really gone global yet, but we've done a lot of cases from all over the country.
Yeah, I don't necessarily get contacted by other ones from other states. I have been, but some of the ones that I've done lately, I've ran across them, in news feeds or on the news, and I just feel compelled to do them.
A perfect example. Ricky's getting ready to tell you about Trinity Boland, nowhere near Kansas. Let's tell him about Trinity, Ricky.
Yeah, she is missing from Kannapolis, North Carolina. Been missing since January of 2021. She's 14 years old. She is 5'3" tall and weighs 115 pounds. And I could not nail down a hair and eyes. I checked several news stories and none of them had it. Police detectives were able to make telephone contact with Trinity shortly after her parents reported her missing, but she refused to come home. It's believed she's in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County area, as the cell phone that she has with her pinged in the South Park area of Charlotte. It's believed that she could be with an older teen that she met online. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department and the Mecklenburg County Department of Social Services is assisting in the investigation to locate her. If you have any information regarding Trinity's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kannapolis, North Carolina Police Department at 704-920-4000. Let me say that again, 704-920-4000. You can also submit a tip to the, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, Cabarrus Area Crime Stoppers online at cabarruscrimestoppers.com or by calling 704-932-7436. And see if we can't generate some information and help get Trinity back home. See, make sure she's safe someplace. Somebody commented earlier and asked about whether we knew why she refused to come home or what might she be running from, and I have not seen any information to indicate that she was running from anything that had to do with anything at home or anything like that. The only thing I saw was that it's believed that she could be with an older teen that she had met online. So, that's basically all I know on that one.
Right.
And I just hope she finds, Colin Greenmeyer, Alex Arusa, missing from Salina since December 2017. Yeah, we've covered him numerous times.
Yeah, we can cover him next week again.
Yeah, I don't mind covering him again at all. Yeah, I do not mind at all because there's some foul play considered or suspected in his case as well. Mainly because they found the vehicle that he was last known to be in, abandoned northeast of town with the wheelchair that he used all the time in it, and as well as some personal belongings of his. So they are suspecting some foul play. So, but we'll get into it in more detail next week. Your lighting going freaky on you over there, Derek?
I was taking some screenshots. The Easy Out girls are on. They were all making funny faces, so I was taking some screenshots.
Oh,
of them so
gotcha. Okay.
Make fun of them later,
Yeah. Let's see. Here's somebody bringing one up here. Barbara Walker is a black lady missing since December 31st, 2017 from Aurora, Colorado. I will look into that and I will get something made up and we will cover her on the next show. I'm making some notes here. I think we have one more case to touch on tonight. I believe.
Two more. We have we have Riley Shepard up next.
Okay. All right. Riley Shepard is missing from Wichita, Kansas, and she's been missing since February 12th, 2021. She's 16 years old. She's 5'4" tall and weighs 120 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen in the 1700 block of North Holyoke in Wichita. If you have any information regarding Riley's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And Riley, it's time to let somebody know where you are and where they can come and get you at and get you back where you need to be.
Yeah.
It's just time to do that and time to get back on track. And hopefully wherever she is, she's all right. And hopefully all these kids are. It's sad. I think there's so many missing youth out there that are out there running, and it's really sad.
Brave kids, man. Wichita's a big city, man. When I was 16, I wouldn't have went there by myself.
Kelsey's telling me it must have done something she did when she tried to reboot her internet. She says it's saying it's connected, but there's no internet. She tried using her phone, but it won't connect at all to the site.
Well, we'll have to figure that out next week.
Yeah, she did a reboot, so she can't get her internet working now. She lives in kind of a really smaller town, and the internet out there is not the most ideal, so she's having some issues.
Tell us about Robert Jones Jr., our final case of the night.
All right. Oh, I thought we did him. I guess we didn't. Okay. Robert Jones Jr., he's the other one missing from Parsons, Kansas since February 17th of 2021. He's 17 years old. He is 5'9" tall and weighs 160 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in the 1900 block of Crawford and Parsons, just like Mr. Whitson was. He is believed to be with Justin Whitson Jr., who's also considered a missing endangered runaway. And if you have any information regarding Robert's disappearance or Justin's disappearance, please call the Parsons, Kansas Police Department at 620-421-7060 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And Robert, it's time to get back to where you need to be and start getting back on track, buddy. So let somebody know where you are so they can come get you. You and Mr. Whitson both.
Yeah.
Justin. Yeah.
These two guys might be together, everybody.
I like that hat that Justin's wearing. That's the old Chicago White Sox logo.
It's nice, man.
The one from the early 80s.
Well, it's time for our favorite part of the show, folks. Yeah. We have a great located safe reel for you tonight, and then we're going to give you a little bit of information before we get out of here. We like to keep these shows around an hour, everybody. We appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out tonight. This is going to be our located reel safe for this week, and we are going to start uploading these by themselves to the channels and stuff, so you can just see these each week by themselves. Cool. But here we go, the new located safe. Here we go.
Yep.
Oh, that's not it.
Yep, always like seeing that little reel there. That's always good to see.
Agreed, man. I love that part of the show.
Always good to put located safe on a flyer. Yep, breaks my heart to have to do it the other way. That's for sure.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's a good show, long one. I had a lot of cases tonight. I didn't realize I was so busy.
Yeah, a lot going on this week for sure.
I don't mind being busy though. I mean, it's helping getting them found and getting them brought back to where they need to be brought back to. So I don't mind doing it at all.
Right.
My biggest thing is when I'm at work and I get messaged about doing flyers and I have to say, well, I'm at work until this time, and as soon as I get home, I'll get them made. And I apologize for delaying the process. And it's kind of beyond my control when I'm at work. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
I got 2 dogs trying to get my attention right now. I think that means they got to go out.
Yeah. I've got 2 of my own, so I know what you mean.
But that was a good show, man. I think that was a lot of cases to cover. I'm glad everybody watches every week. I'm glad everybody shares.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate all those flyer shares, man. Every one of them I do, and I've noticed that the share traffic has really gone up in the last week. I kind of keep an eye on that to see where we're going, and where we used to average maybe anywhere from 150 to 350 flyer shares, they're hitting 500, 700, 800, 1,000 or better shares. So I mean, shares are really picking up, and I love it. Really shows me there's a lot of people out there that care, that want to help bring these missing people home.
Yeah.
Shelly, you are very welcome, and thank you for watching the show tonight. And thank you, Teresa. Greatly appreciated. God bless you as well. And I didn't mean to really go into so much detail about my own background, but I mean, just kind of wanted to say that I can identify with what it's like, how hard it is to be a teen, because I've been there, done that. Yep, and one of my daughters is going through it too right now, ironically at the same school.
Wow.
All those years later. So, but it is what it is.
Builds character, man.
Yeah, it does. Yep, it really taught me to be more compassionate to others and other people's feelings and what they may or not be going through that you don't know about.
Yeah, man.
Because behind a smile, you never know what's behind that smile. There could be a lot of tragedy behind that smile.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Robin Williams.
Yep.
Funniest man in the world, and he was going through pure hell behind the scenes. To the point where he took his own life.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Sad stuff, man.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us. It's kind of a longer show, but I don't mind doing those longer shows. God put me here to do this, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability until he tells me I'm done, But I want to thank everybody for joining us and appreciate y'all being here. And again, share the show with everybody, wherever you can, with whoever you can, let them know about us. And, we'll see y'all Tuesday. It's going to be kind of a short turnaround because this is a short turnaround, Thursday, Tuesday. But everybody take care and stay safe. God bless. And we will talk to you all on Tuesday night.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm. To this playful assault, to disgrace in his arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways.